today in our live. Today we are going to be talking about when it does not make sense to do assisted living, when it's just like a bad deal, you should stay away and avoid it. So really wanted to dive into this. This is something that I had somebody comment about this on on a YouTube video and said, I don't think this makes sense. Here's a scenario for you. So I wanted to play that scenario out for you so you can see the numbers that they were talking about, and in their scenario, it makes they're totally right. It assisted living does not make sense in that scenario, but I want to share that with you, share what that looks like, and show you how you can actually take that and make it work. Because there are ways to kind of adjust that and make it so that it will actually work for you in a way that all of a sudden it makes sense. And assisted living can be an incredible opportunity for you to make money and make a difference with people. And that's something that is really exciting about assisted living, and that's one of the reasons why I love being in assisted living and helping people along that path, and helping them understand how they can make progress and reach their goals, and get to where they want to be, where they're having that time and that financial freedom, so they can make the progress that they want to make and have the success that they want to have. So with that, again, my name is Brandon Gustafson. For those of you who don't know me, I own and operate 2 assisted living facilities, and I do that out of state. So I live in Utah. I have a facility in Colorado, and I'll have an update actually for you on that next week. So stay tuned. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notified, because I have a fun and exciting update for everybody next week. And I have one in Idaho as well. So make sure you are doing all those things so you can get some of that breaking news from me. But yeah, I've been doing this since 2020. I've secured over $1.5 million in SBA funding. I know this process. I've been doing it for a while. I also have a master's in healthcare administration, so I have worked in the industry since 2011. Have a lot of experience just kind of in the industry as a whole, just healthcare, not necessarily assisted living, but broadly inside of this industry, and something I'm very passionate about. I love working in healthcare and being able to help people along that path. So with that, let's hop over, and I want to share this scenario with you. So this is a scenario that we had somebody comment on a video, and I want to show you how this makes absolutely no sense, and how somebody could look at these numbers and say, oh man, assisted living seems like a horrible investment. Why would I do this? So if you put 4 to 5 residents in a house for your assisted living facility, and you are they're paying $3,200 per month, and you pay your caregivers for shifts that cover 24/7, because you're going to have to do that if you're in a licensed facility. If you're unlicensed, or you're just going to do kind of a care home, you might have a little bit of leeway in the evenings and not have to do that coverage. But in a licensed facility, and in most facilities, you're going to want to have that full 24/7 coverage. And so you're paying $20 an hour, which I would say is pretty average. Like we pay a lot of our staff between, I would say, $18 and $23. So $20 an average seems pretty average. You're going to have $14,400 just in wages, right? So where's the business opportunity? We're going to run through some simple math here so you can see exactly how this works. But in this scenario, this is why I have a video where I tell you 6 beds or less. Like it's money is really tight. It's hard. One of my most popular videos on the channel is, can you do this with a 3-bed, like a 2 or 3-bed care home? The answer is yes. It's just the profitability. It's really hard to get there. So we're going to show you exactly how that works. And so I just want you to be aware of this, because for those of you that you want to do unlicensed, you have a relatively big house, has 4 or 5 bedrooms, you're thinking assisted living is great. This is what I want to do. I want to convert the house. I want to show you numbers here so you know exactly what you're getting into, because it's not as good as other people are going to tell you it could be. So let's see, running the numbers. 4 residents, $3,200 a month. That's $12,800, right? That's it. That's income. Or 5 residents at $3,200. That's $16,000 in income. Your staffing model, you have 24 hours times $20 an hour at times 30 days, 30 days in a month. So this is assuming you only have one staff member ever on site at any given time. You have no overlap. You're only paying like the bare minimum of what you can pay. You're not paying your administrator or anything extra. This is bare minimum right here. $14,400 is your expense just in that. So you are clearly underwater already, and that's without your other big expenses, your insurance, your food, your utilities, your debt service. Your That's not including the big five, what I call the WIFUD, WIFD, wages, insurance, food, utilities, debt service. That's not including all those. You're already underwater. So this is like, this person, they brought up an incredible scenario where it does not make sense for you to do this, right? It just doesn't. So let's talk a little bit about how you can fix this. There's a few ways that you can do this. Number one is to charge more, right? So if you're going to just charge up to 5,000, which I would say is still pretty good for the market. It's going to depend on your state, but a lot of states, I would say $5,000 a month, especially for a private type of a facility, private pay. 5,000 honestly seems like a deal. Now there may be states where just that's not going to fly. It's not going to work. But also your wages are probably going to be a little bit less. Your real estate costs are probably going to be a little bit less. So there's a little bit of trade off there. But I would say you could typically get between $6,000 and $8,000. That seems very reasonable for private pay. You can probably get even more than that if you have something that's a little bit higher end. But let's just say you're able to up your wages to $5,000 per month. So 4 residents, you now have $20,000 in income. 5 residents at $5,000 a month, you're $25,000 in income. Your staffing in that scenario is not going to change. You're now at $14,400. So money is still very tight, but there's probably some room for a little bit of profit there, especially if you had 5 residents. 4 residents, you're probably not making much. You're probably losing money. So that's something you'll be aware of. But at 5, you're probably okay. But you're also assuming that you are always 100% occupied, which in my experience is probably not going to happen. Now, in a smaller 5-bed facility, it's probably more likely you can keep those beds filled, create a waiting list and those types of things. But it is something that you want to be aware of, probably pump the brakes on a little bit, because especially when you're doing your underwriting, I encourage you to be conservative. I would encourage you that if you are not planning on being just 80% full, like if you have rose-colored glasses, you're saying 100% full all the time, that's what it's going to be. It's probably not going to happen. I underwrite to make sure I'm going to be profitable at a consistent 80%. Like that's what I'm going to do, because then I have every confidence that I can at least maintain that. And if I have dips underneath that, then I'm going to be fine. So that's something that I really want you to be aware of, that as you get into this, do not plan on this being 100% full. Like you really shouldn't. If it does, then great, but you shouldn't plan on that. I have an underwriting calculator that I give away for free. Go go over to assistedlivinginvesting.net. It is the big blue box in the top right corner of the website. Just go grab that free resource for you. I also have down here somewhere below me my business plan checklist that's going to help you build a business plan. Make sure you go grab that. I have a bunch of free resources just all over the place. Make sure you go grab those tools, because it's what's going to help you out as you're trying to move things along. And I'll continue to coach you and things through email, through the YouTube videos. Make sure you're doing that. I want to be your coach, and that's how you can do it. Just go grab those free resources, and then just get on the emails. And I'm sending out stuff all the time to help you make some progress on it. Okay, so that's number one. That's one way to fix it. You just charge more. Makes sense, right? And you're from 3,200 to 5,000. You're still market rates. This is very doable. Something that can make a lot of sense. So that's one scenario. Next scenario is you just have more beds, which can be hard. But if you have big enough rooms inside of your house, typically what I see in a lot of states, and your state could be different, is for a private room, it needs to be a 100 square feet, a 10 by 10 room, basically. For a shared room, it needs to be at least 160 square feet. So it's a pretty big room. It's like a 16 by 10. It's big. But when you do that, you can have shared, you can share rooms inside of that room. It's 80 square feet per resident is typically what you are going to be looking at. Check your state, could be different there. That's a lot of what I see there. So let's say you have 5 bedrooms in your home, but they're all huge. You know, they're just big, and you can get 8 to 10 residents. You can double the amount of residents there. Just keeping it at 3,200, keeping that kind of very minimum basic rate that you will keep your beds pretty full because you're the cheapest one on the market. Just doing that 8 times 3,200 is 25,600. I'm going to go back really quick. We in this scenario we did 5 residents at 5,000. That's 25,000. Just doing 8 residents at 3,200, so we're reducing it, is higher than that already. Okay, so this is where having more beds makes a ton of sense. This is why I tell you that 6 beds or less is really hard to do. It's why I personally will not do something that is less than 10 beds unless I am getting just like a killer deal on a mansion where I can charge $15,000-$20,000 a month on something on a 6 bed facility. Like, I'm just not going to do this in a small facility. I need something that has more beds for it to make sense financially for me. Okay, so 8 residents, 3,200. That's 25,600. 10 residents at 3,200. That's $32,000 a month in income. Right? That's incredible. So my staffing at this point is probably going to stay the same. Honestly, 8 to 10 beds. I'm probably not going to need much more staff than that. I really won't. Um, there's a like in Idaho, no, in Colorado, which is the most prohibitive state I've seen. I've been working. I operate in 2 different states. I've talked to people all over the place. Colorado, the resident to caregiver ratio during the day is 1 to 8, and in the evening it's 1 to 10. So I can scale back a little bit in the evenings if I need to. So in this scenario, I might need to, if I had 10 residents during the day, I might have to pay a little bit more for staff because I'm going to have some double coverage. But in the evenings, I don't have to have that, right? So wages might go up a little bit, but my money situation in this scenario is getting much better, especially if I had 10 residents, $3,200 a month. Just looking at this, and I would say that 14,400 um, for wages, that's probably a little low for this size of a facility, but it's not too far off. It's probably a few $1,000s off over the course of the month, right? So, but I think this is something that is reasonable. I would say you're probably more realistically looking at between $17,000 and $20,000 there, but like these numbers are they're ballpark. Okay, so that works, right? And you can see the difference here in just having more beds in your facility. This is where it starts to make a lot more sense, even at that $3,200 a month marker. Now, let's run another scenario where we have more beds and we're charging more. And we're just at that 5,000. And we talked about this. $5,000 a month is very marketable. I feel like in most markets, you're going to be able to sustain that amount, especially in a pretty nice home. It doesn't even need to be like the big gaudy homes that are just like, all tricked out and all that stuff and gold everywhere. It doesn't have to be like that. It just has to be a nice home. Even with shared rooms, I think you could do this. You might want to have a few that are more private suites, and maybe you charge those a little bit. So we're talking about average $5,000 per month for a room. But I think this is doable in not like a super nice house. A nice house, but not a super nice house, right? So you have now 8 to 10 residents in there. You're charging $5,000 a month, very doable. And you can see your income now $40,000 at 8 beds, $50,000 at 10 residents. So that number is significantly higher, and you can see your wages at that point. They're just like the scenario before. They're not going to change that much. They might go up a little bit. Maybe you're providing a little bit more care. Maybe you're providing care to residents that need a little bit more, but you're not tripling your your wages here. You're like doubling it at worst. You're probably only going to be getting up like an extra 50%. So bump it up to $20,000. You still have a lot of room for all of those other expenses. You can cover all your wages, insurance, food, your utilities, and your debt service very easily. So this is how you can see how this starts to make sense. There's a lot more room in case you need to hire more staff. If you need to take care of all those other expenses, gives you options to do that. Gives you a lot more just opportunity to cash flow on the business and have it make sense for you financially. And that gives you more space and more brain capacity to think of ways that you can add more streams of income, or do research on how to increase rates for people, and do all of that type of kind of market research, and how you're going to do that, which can increase your income even more. So this is where I tell people this all the time. People want to know, I've got this house. I think it's perfect for assisted living. And I ask them, well, how big is it? Oh, it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. That's not going to work. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 5 bedrooms, 2 baths. Like, now you're maybe getting into a scenario where it starts to make sense, but you're going to have to charge higher rates. In assisted living, residential assisted living, you want something that has a lot of rooms. My homes, my home in Colorado, my home in Idaho, each have 10 to 12 bedrooms. Okay, so you want something. The more rooms they have, the better. The better off you're going to be. It just makes your life that much easier. So you want to have more rooms, you want to have more beds, and you want to find ways to be charging more money. And I know there's some of you out there that are just like, man, it's so expensive. Like, how are we go? How are people paying for this? They can pay for it a few ways. They can pay for it with Medicaid. They can pay for it, if they did a reverse mortgage, or like a retirement, or long-term care benefits. Like, there's a lot of ways that people can pay for this, or their children make a lot of money and they're going to pay for it. Like, I get it. It's a totally different type of thought process that goes into this, and you almost feel guilty charging people, but you have to remember, you're providing them a place to live, you're giving them all the food, you're providing them with all of the care. And if they were to go and get some home health to come into their home, or other programs like that, they're charging as much or more than that, and they're not there 24/7. They're just not. That would just be astronomical to try to cover that. And so there are ways that people can do this, and it gives families peace of mind to know that their loved one is in a home that is receiving, that is providing them with the care that they need, so that they can live a happy and healthy life. So um, it's hard. Like, looking at those rates, like, I get it. And for those of you who are watching this and you are trying to understand, like, how much is it going to cost me to be in assisted living, it's expensive, but that's what the market dictates, and it's also because of the amount of care that is provided. And when you compare that to the amount of time that you would be caring for your loved one, or how much you would be paying like a home health nurse or somebody else to come into their home to care for them a few hours a day, it comes out in the wash. It really ends up not being that much. So I just want people to understand that it seems like a large amount, $5,000 a month. Oh, man, that's like double, triple my house payment, right? It's the amount of care that you're providing, the services you provide, the attention to detail that you are providing to people. It's so worth it. Okay. Now, if you want to succeed in this and you want to make it work for you in assisted living, there's a few things that you need to do. You need to build a solid foundation. Go grab the free business plan checklist. I think it's down here. Let me see if I can point to it. Nope, this way. So it's down there. Go grab that free business plan checklist. It's a free tool for you to help you build your business plan. That's part of your foundation. You need to have a business plan. You need to do underwriting. Go to assistedlivinginvesting.net. Grab our free underwriting calculator. You need to do market research. We're actually working on our annual update of our market research guide right now. So hopefully in the next month or two, we'll have that available for you. So if you already have the Launchpad, you'll get that free update to your market research guide, which is going to be awesome. If you want to learn more about the Launchpad and get that update when it comes available, go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/launchpad, and you can get that. It's what I have to help you build the foundation. Okay. You need to do your research. You need to find ways to get more beds. That could be buying bigger houses, or looking at doing renovations on your home to add extra bedrooms, making sure that it's within zoning and you're doing everything that you should be doing to keep the house kind of compliant from that standpoint to allow for more bedrooms, but see if you can get more beds in the home. And you need to be charging higher end market rates. The $3,200 a month, I would say, is low. That in my mind is not a market rate. You should be charging higher. So that's something that I want you to be aware of. That those are the things that are going to allow you to succeed in this business. Make sure that you are doing your underwriting before you jump into a deal, before you go and find a lender and get $1 million loan on something that you think and hope is going to work. You have to make sure the numbers are going to work. Make sure they tie out. Make sure that you are comfortable with them. Don't have rose colored glasses on it. Run scenarios. Make sure that it really is going to work, because I would hate to have you get into this, pay millions of dollars to get in, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to get into a home, and then turn around and 6 months later you're losing tens of thousands of dollars per month. It's not worth it. Make sure you spend time up front understanding what that looks like. Go grab the free resources, going to help you out. If you have questions or you need some guidance as you're getting into this, go join our ALI Basics community. In there you get access to me. I'm in there multiple times a day checking on chats, making sure you get answers to your questions. We do a monthly member only call, which we just did one last week, and getting all the questions answered for you that you need. You get priority answers here on our Facebook and YouTube lives, and just a bunch of other resources. So go check that out. It's the least expensive way to work with me directly. You can go check that out at assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics. Go check that out. Would love to help you out, help you make some progress, and have you join so I can help you get the answers that you need, so you can determine, hey, is this going to work for me? What do I need to do to get started? This is the best way for you to do that. Again, assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics. So with that, I know there's a few of you here. If you have questions, go ahead and type those in down below. I've got a few minutes here for Q&A. I would love to answer some of your questions as we get into this. While you're doing that, I want to remind people to like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell as well, so you get notified every time we put out content like this to help you out along your journey to launching your assisted living business. We do lives on Tuesdays. We put out content on Thursdays as well, and a bunch of content on our social media feeds, our blog, just all of the things. So make sure you get inside of this ecosystem to help you make progress as you're trying to launch your assisted living business. That's one of my favorite things to do is helping people like you get the answers that you need to help you make progress and actually launch your assisted living business. I did have a question inside of our ALI Basics I wanted to get to here in this recording. They were asking about templates for using business plan, templates for creating a business plan. I have those. They are in my Launchpad bundle, or you can actually get it if you join ALI Basics. You can go get there. It's in the resources for you there. But in either of those spots, you can get access to my business plan template. So you can get the free business plan checklist by going to assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. If you want to get access to the template and how to build a business plan and what that looks like, go check out the Launchpad at assistedlivinginvesting.net/launchpad. And they also asked, how do you pay your team members? So there wasn't a good clarification there, so I answered this question two ways. One is paying your team members. You have to have money, right? So that's number one. So how do you get the cash to pay your team members? You, number one, are going to bring residents into the facility, and you're going to get paid by them. That's how you're going to get access to the cash. If you need it up front, you're going to ask for extra operating capital from a lender as you get into this. The second way I took this was like, how do you actually do it? Like, how do you run payroll? And I use Gusto. So we have a link down below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go and grab that. After you run your first payroll with Gusto, you will get a $100 Visa gift card. So just give it to you if you use my link. So make sure you go and grab that. I get something as well. I think it's the same thing, $100 gift card. So use the link. benefits both of us. Gusto is great. We've been using them for nearly 5 years now, and they are a great tool. Like I love them. They have great customer service. They take care of all the taxes and working with the state and things like that. So make sure you go and check them out. Again, link below on YouTube. So go check that out if you're interested in working with Gusto. After you run your first payroll, you'll get $100 gift card. So go check that out. But those were a couple of questions there that we had inside of the community. There was another one that was in an email, and I don't have the email pulled up, and it will take me too long to find it. But hopefully that helps. Now, with that, I want to remind everybody, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here and being able to help you along your journey, and help you make progress. Make sure you go grab the free business plan checklist, assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. I would love to help you out. Does residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At Assisted Living Investing, I'm here to help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. I love helping and coaching people. It is one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love it. I love it when people join my programs and I can help you and give you access, and get you the answers that you need so you're making progress. So make sure you go check out some of those things. And remember, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Just keep going step by step by step. And I promise you, if you do and you're consistent and persistent, you're going to be successful. Thanks for watching and have a great day.